Hi everyone, it's Karen Hooley. I hope you're having a great morning. I want to welcome everybody who's watching, and if you are here watching, make sure you pop into the chat and let me know that you're here. Before I get to the comments in the chat area, I wanted to just remind everyone that you can learn more about me by going to my website at KarenHooley.com. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Karen Hooley. Make sure there's no space between Karen and Hooley. And then if you want to watch replays or see some other videos other than my lives and what I post here on YouTube, you can also join me on Rumble. This link will, if you are not a member of Rumble, you can use this link that I'm showing here on the screen that to actually subscribe. And then also, I want to just remind people that I do have virtual classes coming up. The first one's actually starting tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, and it is Tunisian Basics. So if you've been wanting to learn Tunisian crochet, this is a great class. It's going to go. It's at 10:30 a.m. Pacific, and I am going to shut off registration sometime tonight. So if you're not registered by tonight, I apologize. You won't be able to participate in the class. But then next week I will have two classes, or three classes actually. I'll have the Radical Reversals Shell class, which is on Wednesday afternoon. I'll have the second part of the Tunisian, because the Tunisian class is 2 weeks. I'll have the second part on Wednesday or Thursday morning. And then on Thursday afternoon, I will have the Tunisian short row class. So if you're interested in any of those classes, make sure you go to that link that I'm showing you right now at the bottom of the screen. Also, I want to remind you that if you're watching this now and you want to know when I go live, go ahead and hit the subscribe button at the bottom of the screen, and or underneath this video actually, and you'll be notified when I go live, which is every Wednesday, normally at 9 a.m. And this week, due to some stuff going on this morning, I needed to go an hour later, but that's not a usual thing. So, and I also wanted to let you know, you're probably seeing the ticker down at the bottom of the screen that says my shawl, Queen of Hearts, the company Lamp Shop Kits has actually kitted my pattern using Madeline Tosh, and I still haven't wound this, guys. I'm hopefully going to be able to do that later this week. The Madeline Tosh kits, she's got them on her website right now, and if you want to save 10%, you can use the code Hooley, and you can go to lampshopkits.com and look for Queen of Hearts, and you can get 10% off that kit. So I just want to make sure you guys knew that as well. So I'm going to head over to the comments and see who's here. Let's see. I've got the Busy Hooker. Good morning. And then I also have Dawn. Yeah, you're early this week because I'm going late. So I'm glad you're here, Dawn. Good morning, Deborah. Good. I'm glad you're working on the cowl. I'm going to talk about that in just a little minute here. That stash yarn. Yeah, I got a lot of projects behind me. There's some yarn here that let's see, this way, where this sign that says friends, that yarn I have no idea what I'm going to do with yet. So that's yarn, and then the box next to it right here, that is behind me, is a bunch of yarn from Knitting Fever that I've got ideas for and projects, and I'm going to be doing some videos with that. And I've got a whole bunch of here. I'm still trying to learn which way I'm pointing. Right here where it says, where there's this little coffee mug that has my name on it. This is all leftover yarns from projects. So, and everything else is pretty much got a project in mind. So there you go. Oh, yay, Linda, I'm glad you're here. And Patricia's here. Good. I'm glad you're here to make the live. You have so much yarn from local shops that you're scared to do anything with it. So right now it's just pretty to look at. Sometimes that's what you got to do when you buy yarn. I know that I'm very guilty of this when I when I go to a yarn shop or I go to a live show, I always end up buying yarn. I mean, and sometimes it's just a spur of the moment. It's just gorgeous. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with it. And I buy either 1 or 2 skeins just because I know that it'd probably be a shawl or something like that. So, so that's where some of this yarn that I have no idea what's going to be, this side right here. And there's actually in this box too, there's a couple skeins in there that I don't know what I'm going to do with yet. So it's something we just have to do. Karen, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. There's a lot of new people here. If you guys wouldn't mind, why don't you tell me where in the world you are? You don't have to give me your exact location, but, you know, like if I'm in Washington State or I'm in Illinois or I'm in, you know, Florida or I'm in another country, just let me know where you're at. So I'd love to know where people are. I'm glad you guys are here. So it's been an interesting morning for me. One of the things I did this week is I had ordered and received some new lighting from my office because right on this side of me are my windows in my new office. And you can see that even with my shades down, I have a lot of light right here. And so I bought a umbrella type stand with lights. Actually, I've got 3 of them, but I only have 1 light bulb. So I put 1 in and it's lit up my face a little more, but I need more lighting. So I apologize if there's a lot of shadows and there is some really weird color going on behind me. So just so you guys know, I'm going to be playing with my lighting over the next few days. So let's see, we've got someone from Alaska, Patricia, and we've got Dawn in Florida. So to go ahead and keep popping those in. I figured I'd start with showing you what I've done this week as far as projects. I've only been working on 1 project. Moving this weekend, my husband and I really got into the garage and started pulling boxes out and getting things put where they belong. I've got stacks of all our wall hanging photos and plaques and stuff that are in piles out there that I need to get all the materials to hang them. But so I didn't get a whole lot of crochet time or knit time in, but I did finish. I showed you guys this in progress. This is my first sock. And, you know, even my daughter says that the foot part here looks really small, but it's not. I mean, I have size 8.5 feet, but this fits me perfectly. It stretches perfectly. That's what's the difference between crochet socks and knit socks. Is that crochet socks, you do have to make the foot longer because the stitches don't stretch as much as knitting. For those of you who are interested in this yarn, I don't think she has it available anymore because Valentine's Day is over, but I can give you the information about her site. This is Nanette Wake Studios yarn, and it's one of her sock kits, and it came with a mini skein of the dark brown and then a large skein of the variegated pinks and reds. And I'm going to get a little closer so you can see it's got some speckles in there and stuff like that. The pattern I'm using is my grandmother's sock pattern, the one that she used to make when I was a little girl, and even when my dad was younger, she used to make socks for the family, and this was the pattern. I modified it just a little bit because I always change up the cuff of the sock because her original pattern had a rolling cuff, and I don't really like that. So I just modified it to make it a knit to, purl to sock pattern. So, or a cuff pattern, sorry. But everything else is her pattern, her original pattern. It's just a vanilla sock, all stockinette, a regular heel flap and gusset construction. So this was the colorway Valentine, but if you go to Nanette's website, she has tons of sock kits. So if you're interested in something like this, and yes, you can use them for crochet socks too. So I got this one done, and last night I started the second sock. So I'm one of those people who, when I knit socks, I don't have second sock syndrome. I tend to always complete my socks. So I'm going to remove that ticker because it's making me go a little crazy. Anyway, I don't have a problem with knitting 2 socks. It's just, I have to complete the set. It's probably my type A personality. I have to get everything done. So, but that's that. So I thought I'd show you that. But that's the only project I've actually worked on because we've been still moving into the house. Let's see. Anna Louisa's here. Good morning. Thank you for the comment about the sock yarn. I really love the yarn. It's really cool. Busy hooker, working while listening, so I might miss some stuff, but I see states in the chat. So mine is Colorado. Yep. I asked people, just to let me know where they are. Oh, Karen, good question. Where am I? I live in the Pacific Northwest in the state of Washington, in an area called the Tri-Cities. It's where the Columbia River, the Snake River, and the Yakima River all meet. And there's 3 cities there, Pasco, Richland, and Kennewick. If you've ever heard of any of those cities, I actually live in Pasco in our new home. I'm actually born and raised in California in the San Francisco Bay Area, but we've lived in Washington now since 2000. So I'm a Washingtonian now. I'm a California girl that loves Washington. So there I am. You lived in Silverdale. I know where that is. I know where Silverdale is, Busy Hooker. It is a quaint little town. The lack of sun, yeah. Where I am is the high desert, so we get more sun. They say, the joke is we get 360 days of sun, which isn't true. We just had a major snowstorm this weekend, so in fact, some of the lighting problems I'm having is because there's still snow on the ground outside, and it's reflecting more light through my windows than normal. So. Yeah. And Anna Louisa lived in Oregon in the 1960s. Okay. Oregon's a beautiful state too. We almost moved to Portland when my husband and I first got married. I had a job offer up in Portland, and I decided not to take it so I could stay close to my family in California. But then we ended up moving 10 years later to Washington. So there you go. You'd love to crochet socks, Karen. I am actually going to be planning to put a crochet sock class on my rotation on my virtual classes. So if you're interested in that, make sure you're watching. I will definitely let my newsletter subscribers know first when all my classes are on the website. And I should mention that if you aren't a subscriber to my newsletter, go to my website. I should probably have a little banner for that too. I'm going to make put that on the screen so you guys can see it. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe to my newsletter, because as a newsletter subscriber, you get everything first. You're the only people that get discounts on my patterns. You get the news about a new release first before I let the rest of the world know. You find out about things coming up first, like classes or new books coming. And things like that. So I do here on YouTube sometimes give a little sneak peek, like I will be giving you guys a little sneak peek of something that's coming later. I want to say it's going to be April, but I'm not 100% sure yet. I'll give you a little sneak peek of that, but those newsletter subscribers will get the information on how to order and probably a special discount before. So being a subscriber is important. Is important if you want to save some money too, and you always get all the news first. So there you go. Hi Emily, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. I was just telling them about the kits again earlier, so I don't know if you saw that or not, but there was telling Emily, who's in the chat right now. She is the owner of Lamb Shop Knits, who's giving us the discount using my last name. So welcome, Emily. Glad to see you here. See, Busy Hooker. I was born and raised in Colorado, but I lived in Charleston, South Carolina for a few months and Washington for a few years. It snowed in both states while we lived there. I guess they weren't used to, oh yeah, they're still not used to it here in Washington. Here in Washington, well, when I lived on the west side, we just moved here to the Tri-Cities last June. But when I lived on the west side in Everett, which is, if you don't know Everett anywhere, it's about 20 miles north of Seattle. And it's where the main big Boeing plant is. It's the biggest building in the world as far as square footage, and it's all on one level. So it's really cool. So if you ever get to Washington, go to Everett and see the Boeing plant and take a tour. It's really cool. But we would get snow over there, and if we got half an inch, everything would shut down. It was crazy. Here, I think because we're in a brand new neighborhood and they're still building houses, we didn't get plowed as soon as other areas did. So we were snowed in pretty good over here. But on the west side, there was, I think it was 2006, I think it was, because I think it was when we moved into the second house that we had over there. We had a year where we had 9 days of snow and we were snowed in, and we didn't get plowed. We were on an S curve that went downhill, and we were right in the middle of the S, right, and they didn't plow us for days. And so, yeah, Washington shuts down. Here in the Tri-Cities, it seems like it's a little bit better. We get more snow here, even though we're in the desert. I mean, at least right now, from what I can tell, we get more snow than we got over there. But, you know, this is my first winter here, so I'll know better in a couple more years. But, yeah, so there we go. Emily, it's Emily from Lamb Chop Knits. Yep. I already mentioned it, so you're good to go. Hi, Juanita. It's good to see you. Thank you for, let's see, yay, new home. I'm freezing in Pennsylvania. More snow. Oh, I bet. You guys are getting hit hard up in the Northeast. I hope you guys are doing okay. Thanks, Juanita. My Instagram posts, thank you. I probably should address that really quick. Yesterday, I posted on my Instagram, it's kind of hard for me to talk about. Yesterday was a good day. That's why I mentioned it. Today, I'm kind of like, I'm slowing down a little bit with stuff, and I'm not doing as much stuff because all at once, because last month I was diagnosed with bladder cancer, and I've already had surgery. In fact, the week that I missed the YouTube was because I had surgery. They had to remove 2 tumors. The pathology came back with good news, is that it is, even though it was malignant tumors, it was non-invasive and low grade. So that was the good news. The bad news is I still do have to get treatments because they are, I'm at an intermediate risk for it to come back based on the size of the tumors. So starting next month on the 4th, I will be doing a treatment every 6 weeks, every week for 6 weeks, sorry. And it's a non-systemic, they actually, I don't want to get graphic, so I'm not going to get graphic, but it's a weak form of a bacteria. So it's an immunotherapy rather than chemotherapy, and it's non-systemic. So I shouldn't have any outward signs. I won't be losing my hair or that kind of thing. But after 6 weeks of treatment once a week, then I'm 6 weeks off, and then they check to see if the tumors have come back. And that's when we determine whether it's an aggressive form or if it's something that they got it all. The treatment, kept me, from getting more tumors, and I can go on a year's maintenance and then off, and then just be watched for the rest of my life. So that's what I'm praying for. But I did post that on Instagram. So if you're I'm fine. My family is a little freaked out. I'm a little freaked out, but we're fine. I mean, you can tell I'm pretty normal. I'm feeling more like myself since the surgery. So thank you for those of you who are praying for me, and I appreciate that. Okay, so let's see. Oh yeah, I've driven past her on the way to the airport. Yes. The Boeing plant, yes, busy hooker, that would be it. It was kind of culture shock being in a place where no one knew what to do with the snow. Well, when we moved here in 2000, we had no idea what to do with snow too. We moved in March, And then my son started preschool in September. And I remember driving to preschool and picking him up the first time it snowed. And I was like freaking out, even though it was little tiny flakes. I had no idea what to expect. So yeah, Washington is funny how they know we get snow, but we're never prepared. So let's see. Thank you, Busy Hooker. Thank you, Emily. And I know, Linda, you are a prayer warrior for me, and Juanita. Thank you guys for being my prayer people and sending good vibes and prayers, especially. You have no idea. When I first got the diagnosis, I was mute. I wasn't at the doctor's office by myself, and I had to call my husband and let the doctor talk to both of us so that he could ask the questions that I couldn't even formulate in my head. So it's a shock. No one in my family has had this kind of cancer. My grandmother, who taught me to crochet, had lymphoma. My dad's mom and his sister, one had uterine cancer, one had ovarian cancer. Other than that, we've had no cancer. Oh, and my grandfather had prostate cancer. I should mention that both of them had prostate issues, both grandfathers. But nobody's had bladder cancer. So this is a totally new thing for me. I'm learning a lot. There's a advocacy program out there that actually will pair newly diagnosed people with survivors. And I am seriously considering becoming a part of that program just so that I have someone to bounce this all off of. So yeah, but I'm okay. I'm okay. You look at me, I'm okay. Just slowing down a little. And I think I keep telling myself that I have to, between the pandemic and this, I need to reassess how I do things, because I've always been like a chicken with my head cut off. Those of you who've been following me for a long time probably remember the years that I used to release a brand new pattern every single month. And as I've gotten older, that's, that had to stop. So I try to do it every other month, and if not 4 times a year. And then I'm always working on a book. Now that I'm doing books, I'm always working on books. And guys, as you watch these videos, you'll get to see my books. So those are always the blah, 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 blah. I can't talk today. I need more coffee. But the project that is always behind the scenes is going to be a project for a book usually. And then usually at the same time, I'll be working on a new release. So, as I mentioned that, there will be a new release next month. So if you're not on my newsletter, there's a new pattern coming next month. I've got to send it to my gal who does the layouts for me. So that's coming. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, crochet is what's keeping me sane right now. That I'm praying a lot. So, and that my family is behind me 100%. So I'm doing great. But speaking of things behind the scenes that are coming in, I'm hoping this is coming in February or in April. Sorry, this is February. I want to just give you a sneak peek of the cover. This is Simply Blankets. I'm going to take this little banner off the screen here so it's not covering. This is my proof. I just got it back from the gal who does all my layouts. This is a new book that it's not really a new book. It's a book I released back in 2002, and it used to be called Simply Afghans. And it has been out of print since probably 2005. And then for a very short period of time, there's 6 patterns in here. 6 patterns, I think. Yes, 6 patterns. I can't remember. There's a lot going on. Anyway, there's 6 patterns. I had them available for a short period of time as individual patterns, but most people, blankets kind of go in cyclical things, but blankets are kind of hot right now. So I thought I'd re-release them as an ebook. It's just going to be available in the ebook because there's so few patterns in it. It would cost me a fortune to have them printed in bound books. There might be an option that I would be able to print them through the people who do my printed patterns. And if that's the case, I might do a short run of, they'll be on cardstock. They won't be, you know, like with a nice soft bound cover, and they'll be stapled. If that's an interest, I'm gonna price it out before I actually even ask people if that would be of interest. But because sometimes doing it that way is more expensive than ordering it through the regular bound book people. But in this case, this is such a small book that they won't even do a print run of it. I think it's 30, let me see. It's 35 pages. So yeah, usually they won't do a book less than 48. So, but there's, that's the cover. It's called Simply Blankets. I just sent back to my, the graphics gal, all my edits, you know, where things were put, if something didn't look right or all that. So I hopefully will get the final proof in a week or two, and then I can get it up on my website. And I'm probably going to do a pre-sale, or not a pre-sale, but a sale with my subscribers where they hear about it first and they might get a discount up front. I will also, oh, bye, Louisa. I just saw that. Have a good rest of your day, Anna Louisa. Anyway, sometimes with ebooks, depending on where they're priced, and because I sell them on Amazon and Apple Books and Kobo, and I have to make sure that I'm pricing it at the right place, because interestingly enough, Amazon charges me for digital downloads based on how big the files are. So that's why sometimes you might see, even not just me, it's other designers as well who do just ebooks, and they seem more expensive than others. And it's because Amazon charges us. So, and I like to not have all my books at different prices on different platforms. So I always do my pricing based on what Amazon's going to charge me for a download. So anyway, I'm thinking it's going to be about $4.95 on Amazon. And if you didn't know already, on Amazon and on my website, I do have, you can buy it directly from me, Linda. Yes. But if you don't know already, I already have one ebook out there, and it's going to be a series because I did do several books back in the early 2000s that are no longer available. And I am going to re-release each one. So the first one that came out last year was Simply Baby Afghans. And if you want to go to my website and go under books, you can find that there. It's also available on Amazon. This is the second in the series. I'm calling it the Simply series because they're all basically simple projects. This one's based on stash busting for the most part. The blue one here and then the pink one here. Those were actual full skeins that I had used, but everything else, and even though they are full skein or multiple full skeins of yarn, you can still use all of the patterns in the book to stash bust. So there's that. But with Simply Baby Afghans, there's 4 baby Afghans that are in that book. And I'm trying to think here. They're all baby Afghans I did back in the early 2000s. I think that book was released in 2002 as well, because I did these 2 back to back almost right away. Stash busting is always a good thing. I mean, I do have a little bit of stash busting I need to do back here too. These leftovers, especially on this side. I need to figure out this skein right here is a skein of lace weight yarn, 1,450 yards right here. And it's from a dyer who's no longer in business, which really makes me sad because I love that base and her colors. So I need to figure out what to do with that though. So, so if you didn't know about Simply Baby Afghans, you can find it on Amazon, on Apple Books, on my website under books, and it's only digital. I did not do any print runs on that one. So, and because that one's even smaller, I think that's like 20 some odd pages. And that one too, I could maybe eventually do a small print run if people are interested, but I have to price it. Just so you know, I have to price it. I can't just do it. because it might be too expensive and it's just not worth it. And I know a lot of you like print patterns, so it's hard at this stage of my career. When I was first designing patterns back in the early, late 90s, early 2000s, nobody bought digital patterns. And now, well, I guess with the advent of Ravelry and making PDFs easy to distribute, and other companies since then, and our own websites, people gravitate more towards the digital patterns, because if they want a pattern printed, they can just print it however many times they need. And if they have multiple projects going on, they can have them, the print pattern with what they're doing. But I'm finding more and more that people are getting iPads and the Samsung tablets, the Android tablets, and or Kindles even, and are using their patterns on the tablets. In fact, I've started doing that with my knit patterns. I just knit myself a sweater over Christmas, which I still have to block, everybody. Those of you who were following along, it's actually, I don't know if you can see it right there on top of my printer, right? My finger's right on it. I haven't blocked it yet. So I need to do that. But I do that with my knit patterns, because my crochet patterns, if I buy somebody else's crochet patterns, if I can get it in print, I want it in print, because I have something about crochet patterns that I need to have them in print. But I do buy them digitally as well, and I keep them on my tablet or on my laptop, and I print them though when I want to make them. So if you really, and I've said this before, but if you really want to buy print patterns, it's easy to do, very easy to do. You can just email me and just say, hey, I really want, will you do a run of these patterns? I do have a stash, and I did show them a couple weeks of patterns that I use, that I sell at shows, and they're already listed on my website with the print option, so you can buy some. There's several that I had print available, but my local yarn shop here bought them all. So I'm going to have to do another print run if you're interested in those. But and I can tell you that if you order my kit from Lamb Shop Knits, or Lamb Shop Kits, I keep doing that. It's Lamb Shop Kits. She has a print pattern in her kits. So there's that. So I think that's all I had to show you this week. This week was kind of crazy with the snow. We kind of just hunkered down at home and moved in a little more. So that's kind of what I'm going on. So if you guys have something you want to talk about this week, let me know. As soon as I get fully moved into my office and I can adjust my lighting and stuff, I'll be doing educational lives on Wednesdays once in a while too. I might, my first topic will probably be on gauge, because I've been suddenly getting a lot of questions about gauge, even in my inbox. So I thought maybe if I did a little video on how to find gauge, what to do when your gauge is off, properly measuring gauge, that kind of thing. So that might be the first one I do. But you guys had given me a list a while ago of things you would like me to talk about. So I'm going to start doing that. I'm hoping in the next couple weeks I can do that, because my office, you can't see what's in front of me, but there's piles. And that's because I have a closet on this side of me. And it's a walk-in closet, but I need shelving in there. And my husband got the shelves yesterday, but we don't have the brackets to put them all up yet. So we're waiting for those. And I'm hoping maybe this weekend, at least, we can get it started so I can get all these piles into the closet in an organized fashion. So there you go. Anybody have any questions for me or want to talk about something? Oh, I knew what I forgot, because Deborah mentioned the crochet along. This is Bewitched. This is the cowl. I originally designed it for Forbidden Fiber yarns for their Harry Potter Advent kit, the 12 Days of Christmas Advent kit, this last Christmas. And it's done with 12 mini skeins. And actually, the original kit had enough yarn to make 2 of these. So this is just one half of the kit. But I just released the pattern last month, and we decided to do a crochet along, and we actually did start the crochet along on Monday. We had started off with a Zoom call, and then every Monday for the next 3 weeks, we'll have a Zoom call. And I have a community also for people who are working on this. So if you're interested in joining us, there's still time. You can go to my website, and then under education, there is online virtual classes. That's where all my classes sit. I put it in there because I don't have a crochet along option right now on my menu. So if you look in there, you can register for the crochet along. It's free. And when you register, you have to go through the shopping cart to do it. If you register, it's $0, but it's so that I know who is participating, and I have ways to contact you if I need to. And then you can also buy the pattern in the pattern section under cowls. The pattern's $7. The crochet along is free. And then at the end of the crochet along, I will be doing a little mini giveaway, usually with my mystery crochet alongs. Knitting Fever works with me on those. And I do a big giveaway. Sometimes they give me hooks to give away. They always give me yarn to give away. But I'm going to do a little mini, probably some Karen Hooley design swag, stuff like that. And I should show you guys these. I just ordered, this is just a sample I had done, but Team Hooligan, guys, see this? This is a pin that you can wear. This was just a sample. I just ordered a bigger number of these. So you might get one of these Team Hooligan pins. I also have a couple of these left. I need to reorder these as well. Karen Hooley design pins. Can you see that? Oh, that cleared. I don't know why the Team Hooligan one didn't clear. But did you notice, guys, I changed the way Team Hooligan is. I spelled it so it's like my last name instead of the traditional way of spelling Hooligan, because it kind of is on brand for me. And then I had the logo made with the hash mark and the crochet hook in there, so it kind of matches my logo. So, and in the future, I'm going to have swag available too. So if you're interested. No, Jean, it is not a mystery crochet along. I just showed it to you. This is what it is. And it's a self-paced one. So we've got 4 weeks to finish a cowl. And I last week, or on Monday when we had our first Zoom call, I did talk about a little bit about how to make it smaller or larger, if you wanted it wider, or if you wanted it shorter, or if you wanted it closer to your neck. We talked about that. But I will talk about that again if you haven't joined the crochet along yet. Every week, the reason I'm doing the Zoom calls is for the new people, and also for those who are working on it if they run into a problem. So, and I forgot to record this last one because I did give a lot of information, but if people have questions, I'll be able to reiterate different things about how to read the chart, or why I don't join the chain and things like that. So, but we will talk about it. It's kind of fun because these are colors that I would have never thought to put together myself. And when I got them, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with these? And then as I kept working on it, I really fell in love with these colors. But what's really cool about this cowl too is that you can stash bust. If you have leftovers, or if you have 2 or 3 skeins that you don't know what to do with, but they look good together, you can use them. You don't have to use the 3-row repeat I did. You could do like 6, well, it's the same repeat, but you could do like 3 repeats in one color, 3 repeats in another color, 3 repeats in another color, 3 repeats in another color, because it's 12 colors, but you can adjust also the length. So if you don't want it as long as mine is, you can adjust the length. But it is not a mystery. I will probably do a mystery crochet along later in the year. depending on how things go these next couple months. I have some ideas for one. So I just need to decide what yarn I want to use and what when I want to do it, so that I can actually do the crochet part of the sample. So anybody, we've got another 20 minutes or so. I think I've covered everything I wanted to talk about today. I'm just looking just to make sure I didn't pull something out that I'm forgetting about. No, I didn't. Okay. So if anybody has a question for me or wants to talk about something, let me know. It's the snow. I've lived in snow before. I've lived in, I've been snowed in before, that kind of thing. But this snow is different than what we've had before. And it's really thrown me for a loop this week. So I'm just kind of like totally scattered on it. Because I haven't been able to do the things that I need to do outside of the house. So that's kind of where I've been sitting. Does my Afghan book have any corner to corner patterns? Not in this one. No. When I do corner to corner, are you talking about like corner to corner with pictures in it, or are you talking about just straight corner to corner? Because I am not a fan myself of the corner to corner color work kind of things where for me, corner to corner is one of those Zen, for lack of a better word, Zen kind of patterns where I can just go and I don't have to think about it. I don't think about switching colors. The only thing I do is when I do it, if I have to add a new skein of yarn, I can do that. But other than that, I don't do corner to corner. So I'm busy hooker. I'm sure you could tell me a lot about being snowed in. You can tell I'm a California girl living in Washington who's, not used to this. So you had a blizzard the night of the Zoom. Now my front porch and sidewalks are sheets of ice. Oh, yes, Linda, I'm glad you're staying in. I wouldn't want you out there either. I wouldn't be out there. My husband and I went last night we went to Home Depot and it wasn't so bad. We had to pick up some stuff for the garage setup. But the night before, we had to go get cat food because the cats had no more food. They had enough for dinner, but they wouldn't have had any for morning. So we went to the vet because they are on a special diet, and so we went to the vet to get their food, and then went out to dinner. And you would have laughed at me, those of you who are used to this kind of snow. It was so icy, and I don't have snow boots. I mean, on the west side, it snowed so little that there was no need. It was an expense we didn't need to get snow boots. Over here, I'm going to have to buy snow boots. I was in tennis shoes with just my regular running shoes that I use when I'm on the treadmill and stuff like that, and I was sliding all over the place. I would be grabbing my husband's arm. So you guys would have been laughing at me. I need to get used to this, and I need to get a good pair of grippy boots. Let's see. Growing up, my grandma lived at 10,000 feet up in the mountains of southern Colorado. One year for Thanksgiving, we visited, went to bed, and woke up to 8 feet. Wow. And your uncle was a prison guard and could not convince his boss that he couldn't make it to work that day. I bet 8 feet's unprecedented. I'm sure, even in Colorado, but 8 feet, dang. Well, I think over the weekend, we probably got about, I'm going to say 12 inches at the minimum. I mean, it might be closer to 16. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking we got, but that's a lot for us. So, or at least for me. As far as corner to corner, I've only done one project. So it was American Pie. It turned out so good for my in-laws Christmas gift. It's my preferred technique now. I love corner to corner, but I love to do it in either solid color or a variegated yarn, or I'll do a stripe. I used to do stripes a lot. I have a book, and actually all my books are out, so I can probably show it to you. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this book. It's an old book. I got it in the 90s, I think. I think it was published. Let me see when it was published. Yeah, this was 96. So yeah, this was before my daughter was born. It's by American School of Needlework, which is no longer around. Annie's Attic actually bought them before they became Annie's catalog. 101 crochet squares. But right here, you can see there's a corner to corner, and I'll do stripes like this. This is how I learned corner to corner, was from this book. But now I make baby Afghans. I mean, it's my second favorite baby Afghan pattern for when my family's having babies, is using corner to corner. Sometimes I'll even buy a variegated. In fact, the last one I made, I have leftovers. Find it. There it is. The last one I made, because I don't ever use non-acrylic yarns for my family because they just don't get taking care of things. This is baby Red Heart baby bunches of hugs. It's baby worsted weight. This colorway is called Dragon. My nephew and his wife just had a little boy in September, and I made their Afghan out of the corner to corner with this. This works up corner to corner stripes on its own. For the most part, it's actually very, very cool. So that's a yarn I can recommend if you're looking for a corner to corner that you have no work. But this book, if you can find a copy of this book and you like doing squares, this one's got some amazing, amazing squares. I don't know if it's still available, but man, I love this book. I still go back to it when I need even inspiration for just even if I'm not working in squares, just a little inspiration photo project. I love it. I mean, I'm trying to see if here's the inside. There's all the squares. These are the ones that aren't on the cover. So, and it's by Jean Linehauser, who's one of my idols. I got to meet her in person before she passed away. I knew her for about 10 years before she passed away. So I'm going to put this a little bit here. There. But she was an amazing lady and a designer. People think I over-exaggerate that story, but I have photo proof. The cars are just a little bit, I bet they were. I mean, I have heard that. I have a good friend who lives in the mountains above Boulder, and she sent me pictures. So I keep telling her, you need to move off that mountain because that's a lot of snow. You got some great snow boots at Costco. Not real tall, but they have nice grippy sole. I still avoid anything slippery, no matter. Yeah, me too. I don't know if I've ever told you guys, but before we moved over here, about 3 years. Let's see, this December was 2 years. So 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago now, we had a water leak in our upstairs, and my husband replaced all the carpets with hardwood floor, the entire upstairs, which was awesome because I'm an asthmatic and our master bedroom was upstairs, and I needed to have the carpet removed anyway. So, hey, well then, while we were going through all of this and deciding what we wanted to do, I said, hey, why don't we, because the way our house was made, we were a rambler house, but we were built into a hill. So we had a daylight basement below us. So when you walked into my house, you were on the top floor, and then there were stairs going down to the basement. And the basement's where my kids' rooms were, my office was, our family room. And, that was the main living area. The kitchen and the master bedroom and my husband's office were all upstairs in the living room. Anyway, so I said to my husband, this would be a great time to replace the carpet on the stairs. And why don't we do them in hardwood? Not that big of a deal. And my husband liked the idea. So we replaced the carpet with hardwood. It looked beautiful. It was beautiful. And the first night that we were able to walk on the stairs to go down to the basement after, because you have to glue them to the stairs so they have to dry and they don't want you walking on them. So the first night, my kids and my husband we had just finished dinner, and I needed something in my office to bring upstairs. And so I went down the stairs in my bare feet, hit the 6th stair from the bottom, my foot slipped and I went down the stairs and I tore a ligament and a tendon in my ankle. So anytime there's anything slippery, yeah, yeah, no slippery stuff. So that's why I really want to get myself a pair of boots if I can, at least to prevent a small fall, because I ended up having a surgery 18 months later because it took them that long to realize that I had torn something, even though I kept saying, I have pain, my foot's not working the way it's supposed to. It took my primary care physician to do an MRI to discover that we did this. So yeah. So Snow, that's why you guys would have laughed at me the other day when we were at the vet, because I was just like, I didn't know how to do this. Yeah. It was fun. I scared my entire family. I guess as I went down the stairs, I screamed, and every time my ankle hit each step as I went down, I had it twisted behind me. I don't even know how to describe it on video, but it was my left leg. It was bent. And so my knee and my ankle were hit every step, and my family just, they heard me and every hit as I went down. Oh, it was bad. The day after lockdown last spring, I was still working. It had snowed and rained, and the parking lot looked wet, but it was ice. Oh, yeah. Oh, falling on your tailbone's not fun. I'm not surprised it's not right. Oh, man. Yeah. So, yeah, after that fall it just the thought of falling makes me scared. I'm so cautious. We have stairs here now, and going down, I'm upstairs. My office is upstairs instead of downstairs. But every time I go down the stairs, the first 2 steps, I'm using 2 feet on each step, and then I finally get comfortable. And what's really nice about these stairs, though, is they're not nearly as steep as the ones in the basement. And that's the only place in the entire house that has carpet. There's no hardwood on the stairs. So that was one of the things. I mean, the entire house has laminate flooring except the stairs. Oh, yeah, no, me too, Linda. When she said hit her tailbone, man, me too. Okay, I still have about 8 minutes before I absolutely have to go. So does anybody else want to talk about anything? Ask me questions. It could be about anything I talked about. If you want to have more questions about the book, if you want to ask me questions about the cowl, socks. If you're interested in socks, I will definitely look into my schedule and see when I'm going to be putting socks on again. I know somebody asked about that. Next week, I'm hoping to have this yarn wound. You guys have seen this every week, still in Hanks. I keep saying I'm going to wind it this week, and I haven't. But this one, I need to get started on this one. This is the next project for my book that's coming out next year. So this is something that I need to get started on. So there you go. Other than that, I don't know what else to talk about unless you guys have something that you want to ask. Oh, good. I'm so glad, Busy Hooker, that you will come back. I love this. I mean, even though I can't talk to you person to person, your chat helps me keep going, and just knowing that you guys are listening. Sometimes I don't know about all of you, but I know with this this pandemic and being shut down, not being able to go to live events, and even although my local yarn shop is now open, and I just am having a really hard time not being able to see my crocheters or talk to my crocheters. My family knows what I do. They understand a little, but they don't get it like you guys do. So this is very, very therapeutic for me too. So I love it. I love being able to talk to you guys. Let's see. Linda said, I'm working on Bewitched. No questions yet, but if I do, I'll email you. Absolutely. Email me, or go ahead and even go into the community. That's another thing I forgot to mention. The community, for those of you who are interested in joining the Crochet Along, you don't have to be at every Zoom. But if you have questions, you can always contact me, or you can go to the community, which you will also get on the sheet when you register. There's information. It's a Mighty Networks called Team Hooligan. I called it Team Hooligan. And I'm using it for the Crochet Along because I'm trying to find a place where Team Hooligan can have some discussion together, you know, and have things. And this network that I found, there's a couple other crocheters out there using it. They recommended it to me. And so I thought, well, let me try it with the crochet along and see how, it works, because if it's something that works really well and people understand it, I might build a community there, because I can actually set it up in such a way where I can add classes, and you know, if I could do a paid class or a free class, I can add videos and do you know, other stuff. Because I am also, one of the things I'm doing this year is I'm reevaluating my website, because I've been having, I mean, last year was down for like 2 weeks, wasn't it, Linda? I know I talked about it on Zoom earlier in the fall. I want to say September, October. My site went down, and I'm just having issues. So I'm looking for a way. I'm thinking maybe even building my website on Shopify, and then having an external community that I can link to there, where people can sit and chat and ask me questions and things like that. And we can do some live Zooms. And that's the other thing too, is I'm really considering doing some live Zoom calls, maybe once a month or once every other month or something like that. I'm still trying to figure out what my life is going to be like after this diagnosis. So I have to kind of roll with the punches right now. So there you go. Let's see. I am having a withdrawal of in-person crocheters. I am definitely having that. Let's see here. I'm working on Bewitched Cow. When you double crochet into the cluster decrease, where do you actually insert the hook? Okay, I think I'm going to need to do a video on that, Patricia. So I'll post that in the group. Yeah, but ask it in the group so I don't forget to do it. It's nice to see people's unmasked faces. I've been watching a lot of YouTube. I bet. Me too. You get tired of it after a while. I want to see people's faces. That's why I'm thinking about doing the Zoom calls maybe once a month or something like that. Just a crochet, you know, everybody bring their project and we can just chat kind of thing. The hard part about doing that is I'm on the West Coast and I'm on Pacific time, and a lot of you who follow me are on the East Coast or Central time zone, and it's a lot later for you guys than it is for me. So trying to find that nice little balance is hard. Thanks, Patricia. Yeah, definitely put it in the network. That would be great. Yes, the website going down was a problem. I missed you. Yeah, I missed it too. I'm the one fixing it. So, you know, thankfully I have a degree in management information systems, and I understand computers, but it's frustrating when there's things that are beyond my control that I have to deal with my hosting company for. And yeah. Nice colors. Juanita, are you talking about this guy? Is that what you were talking about? Nice colors. This is so bright. This is so not me, but I don't know why. I cannot wait to break into this. In fact, after this call, I might just wind it, because I really need to see what it's going to look like wound. But this bright orange just said, Karen, you need to make me into a project. And I already know what the project is. I just have to start working on it. So there you go. Okay, guys, couple minutes left. So I'm going to go ahead and start saying goodbye. If you guys have any comments, though, leave them in the comments. I'll come back in just before I go. I end the broadcast. But for those of you who are watching later, weren't able to watch me live, make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you can get notified when I do go live, or whenever I upload a video here on YouTube or on Rumble. If you want to know more about me, make sure you visit KarenHooley.com, and you can subscribe to my newsletter at KarenHooley.com/subscribe, and you'll be the first to know about all the good things that are going on in my world. You can also follow me on Instagram. I try to post there at least once a day. And I've been doing a lot of stories there as well. And I am Karen Hooley without a hyphen or a space or anything in my name. If you're interested in joining Rumble, here's a link that'll let them know that I referred you there. I do get a little kickback for that. So if you're interested in checking out Rumble, use that link and then find me. I'm Karen Hooley Designs there. And this video will also be posted on Rumble. Again, one more reminder that I have 3 classes. The first one starts tomorrow morning. It's my Tunisian basics. But if you go to this link, you'll find all my classes and the registration for the Bewitched Cowl, which is this guy. And then also, just as a reminder, Lamb Shop Knits has my Queen of Hearts shawl, and you can get it at this link. And if you use, I'll put the ticker up too. If you use the code Hooley, you'll get 10% off. So if you're interested in that, check that out as well. And I want to say thank you to everybody who is here. You guys are awesome. You guys really make my week when I come live. You guys are awesome. So, oh yes, Linda, I will. If I wind it today, I'm definitely going to bring it to the next week's Zoom live. And that's always a reminder. Next week, I will be back on my regular schedule. So I'll have the live at 9 a.m. Pacific. So that's 12 noon Eastern, 11 Central, and 10 Mountain. Okay, I have to think about it. If you live anywhere else outside the U.S., make sure you check your time zone calculators and to figure out what time that is in your local area. Let's see what else. Hey everyone, make sure to smash that like button. Thank you. Yes, I hope you guys will smash that like button. And you also subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And yes, I would love people to help me with that YouTube algorithm. It keeps changing too from what I'm hearing. And, I've had a YouTube channel for a long time, and it's just in the last couple of years that I've really started using YouTube. And I really do want to build a community here and a community on Rumble. Rumble, I'm actually getting more followers over there than I do over here on YouTube, which is really weird since I just started Rumble back in, I don't know, early fall, and I almost have the same number of subscribers on both channels. So there you go. The only thing that Rumble doesn't allow me to do yet is do live stream, but once they will, yes, I can put that in there. Let me just get it for you here. Rumble. There you go. Let me go back to comments. Okay, here this is the Rumble registration if you're interested in that. They keep telling us at Rumble that they're going to allow us to live stream. So at some point, I'll be live streaming on both platforms at the same time, just to see. I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm going to stay on Rumble forever, but I'm going to give it a good go and just see which works better for me right now. So there are some crafters on Rumble doing really, really well. So I figured I might as well get on board right away and see how it goes. So this stream will be put on Rumble, and if you're watching on Rumble, you already know that. So anyway, it's time for me to go. So thank you very much, everyone, for being here this week. It was so much fun to have some new faces or new names that I could talk to. And I hope you'll join me next week at 9 a.m. Pacific. And I will see you next time. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye, all.